Okay, so I'm gonna make this video, and I just thought about where I should put this video. I'm gonna make it for the different and proud, but I'm not feeling proud. I'm actually feeling quite angry today, and the reason I'm feeling quite angry is that I had an acquaintance of mine who is concerned for my girlfriend, uh, and obviously the question is why. I'm taking my girlfriend on a trip tomorrow, and it's it is lengthy, but it's a trip that I make like weekly, and I've been doing it for months, like no, like 2 years now. 2 years I've been making like this weekly trip, and I was like, hey, let's spend some more time together. I'm always busy, come with me. And this acquaintance of mine, who's also friends with my girlfriend, was concerned because this acquaintance of mine witnessed me switching recently, and this acquaintance was really concerned, like, oh, what would happen if like you switch while driving and something happens to your girlfriend? And it's like, and the acquaintance is friends with my girlfriend, and I'm trying really hard to like be sympathetic, but honestly, when she asked me that question, I was very offended. I was offended because one, I have obviously the different and proud series on my YouTube, which I've pointed out, like, okay, this is my condition, and keep in mind, this acquaintance of mine didn't know I had this condition until about 4 months ago when I started actually dating my girlfriend. And like, I was like, okay, well, if you ever want to know more, I talk about it on my YouTube. I am very vocal about um, my condition. I I keep it in the open because for years I've had to keep it secret. And I'm not gonna go into details more or less why I kept it secret. But like, people who were close enough to me were like, yeah, when I told them, like, yeah, we kind of figured something was up. We can kind of tell when you weren't really yourself. So, and this acquaintance of mine had not a clue until I mentioned, no, not mentioned it. I explained my condition. And usually, whenever, and I'm not sure if you guys ever had to be, if you had mental health issues and someone usually like you open up like, okay, this is what I have, and sometimes like you kind of feel like not a little bit ashamed, like, oh, I'm different, and what are they gonna think? My condition, most people kind of go, oh, that's so cool, and I'm like, it's not. It's interesting, yeah. From outside the box looking in is interesting, kind of like, oh, look at those zoo animals, cool animals, and the animals are like, we're not home, you are throwing things at us and food, and this is not home. We're not happy about this situation. So for someone like me who has dissociative identity disorder, um, you know, it's not easy. And I know people who have mental health issues. I'm sure they have the same issues. The people who have bipolar, like I knew a friend of mine. She said she had bipolar, and she said one of the things that people would always kind of mention to her is like, if you have a conversation with somebody, how do they know if like right now is the right time, or if they should wait for like, whenever you're not being a bitch. It's like, being a bitch is like a normal everyday thing. Is the idea like 1 second you are and 1 second you're not, and that's not every bipolar person who was diagnosed with bipolar. Or even better example, so someone who has OCD, people are like, oh yeah, come and clean my house, and like they say it jokingly, but people who have OCD, it's not like, oh yeah, I like cleaning. It's like, for things to be okay, for me to feel better about anything, I have to do something either a certain number of times, a certain particular way. It's not like, oh, well, what happens if you really need to, like, if the house is on fire, do you have to flip the light switch 7 times? Like, maybe. That's the struggle that I have to deal with. Like, if there's a fire, I might be screwed because I can't go through the doorway unless I hit this thing 7 times. I mean, I need to tap something a couple times before I can get up. And there's like, people try to either, and I know my acquaintance wasn't making fun, and this is one of the reasons I don't take joking well, because like I have dealt with so many people who have said stuff. I'm like, all right, that I'm about to get really pissed off, and like, oh, I'm just joking. Like, there's no way to joke, but since they said it, maybe I just don't understand how they joke, so I just kind of back away from it. Um, is the idea that like this acquaintance of mine who has known me for years and has let me drive their car multiple times. They have let me around their children multiple times. And everything's been kosher multiple times because I have learned and I have learned and developed systems and traits and skill sets to be able to function in this world. Matter of fact, one of the reasons people are like, "Oh, why are you so busy?" And like, I don't know how to express to them because some of them don't know that I have mental health issues. But it is hard for me, like, they go, "Oh, why are you so busy?" Well, because not only am I an African American, yeah, I'm pulling that right now, just out of the way. Not only am I that, not only am I a male. Those two combination, people automatically go, "Oh, he's either a thug, he's from the inner city, he's scary, has a criminal record, this, that, and the third." All right, now here goes the third part. I do have a criminal record. I'm not a bad person. I was in the wrong place, wrong time, right time for somebody else to do the wrong thing. And I just got caught up in that. And most recently, if you guys know about the incident of 2014, that situation too. So like, yeah, I do have a record. So I have all those four things against me, and I have mental health issues. So I work so hard on a daily basis because I have all these things against me. And one of the things I actually do enjoy doing, if you guys ever seen in the past, I have a series called I Am. And the first episode I did of I Am was I Am a Car Enthusiast. I love driving. I love cars. My brother Bobby, we talk about cars constantly. Constantly. I used to read Import Tuner, Car and Driver, Road and something else. Road and Driver? It might have been called Road and... No, it doesn't sound... Car magazines. I read the only car magazine I couldn't read was Cars. That just upset me because it wasn't my kind of like, it didn't talk about how cars work. It was like, oh, how to make your car bling. And I'm like, I'm not really interested in that. But I am a car enthusiast. And one of the things I was definitely worried about whenever it was about time for us to kind of come to the open about a condition was the idea that, like, oh, they might take away my license because that's the only thing I really enjoy doing because, well, that and like, I with the criminal record, obviously I couldn't hold a gun, and I like firearms, and that was really devastating for me. I like handguns, I like firearms. I'm very military based. The idea of losing that was very detrimental to me. I understand why it had to be done, and I'm making steps to kind of move things back in a better direction in that. But that was still really hard for me. And one of the big things, like, what happens if they take that away from me? Driving. And like I practice all the time on how to be a better driver. I listen to good advice as much as I can. And I like to think I'm not the most skilled driver in any regards, but I'd like to believe that I'm a decently good driver. I think in the past 2 to 3 years, I got one ticket for speeding. I was on the phone, and the conversation got heated, and I wasn't paying attention to the speed, and a police officer pulled me over. Another time was whenever I got pulled over, I was taking my mom to the hospital because we feared that the blood clot in her leg was getting worse. And I took her down to the hospital, and on the way there, a police officer stopped us and was like, "Oh, license registration." It was my parents' car. I didn't have my car then at that time. And it turns out that they switch insurance and registration, whatever, and it was supposed to come in like either the next day or sometime that week. So, and I didn't know that when I got into the car. I'm like, I didn't know this, let it go. And they're like, okay, well, not let it go, but like, I didn't know this. I'm sorry. Give me the ticket and we'll worry about it later. I need to take my mom to the hospital. And he's like, all right, how about this? And the officer was pretty nice about the situation. Gave us the opportunity to kind of clear it off, and we did the best we could with the situation. Regardless, though, driving for me is very important. Cars to me are very important. So obviously, if something's important to you, you do your best to kind of make sure that, one, you don't get that taken away. So when this acquaintance of mine was like, I'm really concerned that, while you're driving your girlfriend, that you're going to go switching. And then, what happens if someone you're switching to doesn't, know how to drive? And it's one of those things, like I have explained before in the previous videos, that switching for us is more like it's based upon the environment. So if something is introduced to the environment that causes another persona to be more fitted for that situation, boom, they are more prone to come in. Especially if the person who is currently in charge is kind of like, I really don't want to be in this environment, which is why I do my best to control the life around me, which is why I make no cars behind me. So this. My life is very, or like, not organized, but it's just more or less routine, very much in order. I try to understand things before I go into it, and I don't put people in unnecessary risk. And I drive multiple people on a daily basis. I'm in the car every day, every day. Not like I'm just going to work. That's like, oh, that's part of work. I'm in my car every day. If I'm not in my car, I'm in somebody else's car. I am a driver. I'm like Franklin from Grand Theft Auto. I am Grand Theft Auto. Me driving is what I do. It's one of the things that defines me. For this person to go, oh, what happens if you're just not good at driving and someone else jumps in? I'm like, that never happens. That never happens because, one, no one, if a persona jumps in a situation that is not like, oh, I don't want to be here, this is not my element, the appropriate persona will jump in. That's how the environment works. That's how we work, being triggered by the environment. And these things I've talked about in previous videos. These things, like, you can look up, and I meant to actually make a video about other successful people who have been successful even though they have DID. Don't think everybody's like the guy from Split. Don't think everybody's like the guy from Fight Club or what have you. There are people out there with mental health issues who are able to still be successful and very reliable and great and amazing people. But sometimes there are people out there who just don't understand, and rather than making the effort and looking into it themselves, they kind of like, and I felt like this acquaintance of mine should have known better than just kind of go, well, I'm concerned. I'm like, we've been friends for, well, I can't even say friends, like, I would like to say friends, but for, obviously, this person hasn't been a friend if, like, this acquaintance of mine is, like, questioning my ability. I've driven this acquaintance of mine. I have watched this acquaintance's children's before. I have helped this person with several different issues. So for this acquaintance of mine to kind of go, I question your ability to keep people safe, upsets me. It may not have been her intention. Maybe she meant to just ask a really sincere question, and the way she does it is just crappy. I don't know. The reason I'm trying to use the word acquaintance, I'm trying to use very little pronouns because I'm doing my best to kind of protect this person's identity. I'm sure this acquaintance of mine is going to eventually watch this. But the only reason I would do that is so that this acquaintance will understand why I am pissed. Why I am upset. Because I work constantly to keep my life that is not supposed to be in order. In a world that's constantly more or less trying to bring me down. I always work to bring myself up, to do what I gotta do. Recently, Xavier's mother pulled the fact that, oh yeah, since you do have DID, I don't really trust you to do, and let's just call this Situation X. I don't trust you to do that Situation X. And that really upset me because the only way this person would have made that connection, well, Xavier's mother would have been like, well, I don't want you to do that, if somebody else gave her that idea, and somebody else who was close to me. So I obviously need to talk to that person and be like, if there was an issue, I shouldn't have heard first from my son's mother about it. I should have heard from you about it so that it could have been worked out. So the idea that people, alright, what I want to say is this. People have mental health issues, and if you guys are listening and you have mental health issues, understand there are people out there who don't understand. And I'm angry. Know that. Know I'm angry. And know that I'm angry when I say this next sentence. Don't be too harsh on them. Because they do not understand. They won't make the effort to understand, because if they did, they would have searched. My acquaintance would have looked up what the condition was. My acquaintance would have looked at my past videos that I've even pointed out, like, hey, I talk about my condition in these videos. Back when I first got with my girlfriend, I told her, hey, want to know about my thing? Check out these videos. And things take time. I understand that. I do, because people have lives and everything else. But like, you cannot go, well, I'm concerned, and I don't think, and 9 out of 10, if someone is concerned about something, they don't want you to do it. So this is how I read it. I don't want you to take your girlfriend and drive her to this on this trip, because I worry that, you're not good enough to be able to keep the people you care about safe. And it's not the question, like, if I felt that my girlfriend was in any way, shape, or form in any kind of danger, I wouldn't bring her, especially for me. I'm sure people who are bipolar, like my sister, happens to be in a relationship where her boyfriend's parents are kind of like, oh, she has bipolar, she's no good. And it's like, you can't. Granted, my sister's not exactly the best angel in the world. She's not. She's not. I won't be the first, nor I will be the last person to ever say that. But to base somebody solely on their disorder is wrong. To base somebody on their merit and their history, that's right. So keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind that people don't understand. And no matter what you do, once they see that, like people are like, oh, I've known you for years, and once they see that you have a criminal record, they'll be like, oh, who is this guy? Or who is this girl? Does he have mental health issues? Like, did I really know who you were? Like, I'm still the same person you've known. My ability to take care of people, my ability to take care of my business, my ability to do what I need to do never has changed. If anything, has gotten better. So to question my ability to anything because of my mental health, because of my race, because of my criminal past, anything is going to obviously upset me. And I'm guessing it might upset you guys too. Let me know. Let me know what kind of situation you've ever been in. Let me ask you though, what should I do? I'm not concerned for my girlfriend's safety because I know who I am. I know the environment because it's going to be inside the car. We're going to be driving together, and I'm going to be focused on her. It's what I always do when I'm with her. I focus on her. I mean, especially, it's a lot easier when no one else is in the car. It's just going to be me and her, so we get to just talk. Something I don't get to do because I'm so busy keeping my life together. So that's the solution. My strength in myself, on who I am, so I won't blow up at this acquaintance of mine. But lately she has been, questioning my actions, questioning my abilities, and I'm not too keen with it. This acquaintance was a friend, a pretty close one at that. I'm not sure how I feel about this acquaintance anymore. Oh, this friend, who I'm now kind of pushing down to an acquaintance because apparently she doesn't know me. She doesn't remember the things that I've done for her and her family, and what I've always tried to do as a good person, as who I am as a person, regardless of mental health issues, which hasn't just been like, oh, it just happened recently. Like, we've had this as long as we've known life existed here. But the key is to remember not to become manic, to be calm, because whether I know it or not, I am the I am the spokesperson for all 5 of the things wrong with me. I am a spokesperson for African Americans. I'm a spokesperson for people who have been incarcerated before. I'm a spokesperson for people who have mental health issues. I'm a spokesperson for every male in the world. Because people will judge an entire group based upon one. And that might sound like a lot of responsibility, and it is. And it's not something that I chose to pick up, but it is greatness that has been thrusted upon me. And I must present, so I must carry myself in a calm manner and explain, long day, explain to this acquaintance of mine what I'm feeling. I'm feeling hurt because this acquaintance was supposed to be a friend. Someone who would trust my ability based upon my old life with her and her family. That we've been friends for so long, and I have done this, that, and the other. I am hurt that she doubted me. It's a human trait. I know. It's also a human trait to learn to trust and to do better than what people expect you to do. So that's the lesson. Do better than what they expect from you. Show them that they're wrong. Thank you guys for another episode of Different and Proud. Stay different and proud.